end of this meeting, you become restless, I will be happy. So what I'm going to do is to charge you and set you thinking. I'm not going to be prophesying on you, but some questions should arise in your heart, and there must be a challenge for you to try to answer those questions. First, I have adjusted the theme of this meeting to the greatest God is still making people great today. The greatest God is still making people great today. You know why I need to use that adjective? There are so many gods, and we need to know which God we're talking about. India alone has 33 million. Nigeria has. So we are going to begin with definitions. 3 things I want us to define. Number 1 is generation next. Number 2 is God. And number 3 is life. I like definitions a lot, particularly in these times that definitions have lost meaning and meanings have lost definitions. If you don't have the right definitions, deviation is inevitable, and we see it happening now, even in the church. So much that people are confused about what salvation means. They are arguing on what salvation means. That shouldn't be an issue for argument, but we need to define it. We have to define who is a man of God. This is a time where you can recognize men of God, but you keep looking for the God of the man. You can't find it. It's so unfortunate. Check our billboards, check our flyers, enter our churches. You see the man of God immediately comes in. But where is the God of the man? You are confused. Why? Definitions have lost meaning, and meanings have lost definition. So, let's begin with generation next. It's not just about a dispensation. It's about tomorrow. Do you have an idea what your tomorrow looks like? Oh, some people say, I wish I were born in the older generation, things would have been better for me. No, there's nothing you can do about the older generation. You are in a new generation, you are in a new dispensation. In Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 10, he said, don't say the former days are better than now. You lack understanding when you say that. And people are saying that in our country now. Oh, those days when 1 naira used to be $60, 60 cents, not dollars. That was our own time. $1 was about 2 naira. Back in those days. When I say those days, not too far off. But before our eyes, how much is the dollar now? I mean, you should be concerned. I was saying, I said, people of our generation should weep and be concerned about this nation. People of my generation are in their 70s. During my youth service, 1979, 1987, I traveled to London with 500 naira. I'm telling you real life story. I'm going to be talking from real life experience. I traveled to London with 500 naira. Nigerian Airways, 240 naira return ticket, student rebate return ticket. I bought BTA, 256 naira. I spent 2 weeks in London, bought things in Liverpool Street, 1979-80. Came back, bought things for my friend, 500 naira. Are you ready Not even your own generation, the next one. That is where there is. Are you ready for tomorrow? I ask youth a question. I'm part of the youth because I'm still less than 75 years. If you cannot tell me where you will be in the next 5 years, I'm afraid you have failed already. You must have a clear idea where you will be in the next 5 years. Oh, but there are so many uncertainties. That's why you're a believer. You should not be bothered with the uncertainty in the world. You should be able to have the trajectory of your destiny. That's why we're talking about life as a personal adventure. You cannot be sleeping and be waking up, sleeping and waking up and expect things to be okay. You are just preparing yourself for a shocker. Check the social media. You see so many people collapsing and dying. Young people now with high blood pressure. Whose fault? Somebody said the devil. No. It's not the devil. The government. No, it's not the government. It's you. It's you. You are going to, at the end of the day, absolutely responsible for your destiny. And I want you to think about that. I thank God so early in life I understood that. This young man standing by you at the age of 7, I saw firewood. We would trek 5 miles to buy firewood in Abeokuta. You buy the firewood for 4 pence. You trek 5 miles back and sell it for 5 pence. What is your gain? 1 penny. How much is that in business? 20% gain. Isn't that much? Okay, am I still selling firewood now? But from then, I saw my tomorrow. My father had 2 wives. Was a Catholic. Between the 2 wives, 14 children, 6 from my mom. None of them ever went through the 4 walls of a university. The highest, secondary school, because he himself had primary 7. But I told myself from the age of 9, I was going to be a quantum chemist. I saw one young man came from Cairo, from the University of Cairo, dressed in overall with tie, and I saw him doing something in the laboratory. I said, I love that. That's what I want to become. And I kept following it through. One day, I was reading Daily Times. So those of you who will know, please check my time if I'm going too far, so you can tell me to stop. I hope somebody is timing me. We stop where I can get to. Daily Times, those days used to have horoscopes. Those days you go to the roadside, the vendors are there. When I get Daily Times, what I want to check is horoscopes. And that day I went to my star, Aries. And he told me, I will never go to a higher institution. That was the day I stopped reading horoscopes. I have been reading it, I believed it, but that day I stopped. And as if it was going to come to pass, I was in Form 4. You know, those days we have Form 1 to Form 4, not just 1 to whatever they do now. Form 4, my father died. Hope lost. My mother was a stark illiterate, selling rice in my primary school then. Father or no father, I will get there. I finished secondary school 1973. 1974, I first worked in NTA. Life is a product of what? So listen very well. Then I got employment in Federal Revenue Court. It used to be this in those days. Then they paid us Udoji. Some of you remember, 74, 75. Then with my Udoji, I had money for one term. University used to be first term, second term, third term. Not the semester we had now. From January to December. So I had money for first term. So I got admission. I paid for one term. And I went. Before the end of first term, I got a federal government scholarship. I finished through that. Did my youth service. Registered for my master's. Master of Philosophy actually. Because I wanted to continue. I wanted to become a professor of chemistry. After 1 year, there are 4 of us who registered for MPhil, quantum chemistry. They told us, they said, sorry, there's no equipment. You all we need to change to normal chemistry. I said, no. I don't want to end up as a teacher. Thank God for my professor, Professor Gobeni. He came from Poland. Then he told me, he said, my university, he was telling me about himself, my university in Poland is the best university in the world for quantum chemistry. He said, I'm going to speak to them if they will admit it. But I have one bad news. He said, what? The university will not fund you. So you are going to pay for it. I said, go ahead, I will pay. I was speaking by faith. Then the letter came. You have been given admissions. Even the money for flight was not there. Flight return ticket to Poland then was 790 naira. Alitalia, I didn't have it. Put all the cover together. Finally, it was complete. My senior sister told me, said, look, we don't have money. She used to do catering, and she baked a small cake for me. He said, this is what we have for you. Then I told myself, that's good enough. I left Nigerian soil without a dime. With that cake, I told myself, before this cake finish, I will die. Well, you get there, you drink free tea. Milk was always available. So I would take the tea and eat my small cake, bit by bit. I never saw it as suffering. And see some people complain, they say, you see, I can't remember when I had 3 square meal. Even 3 is not square. Who told you you must eat 3 times a day? And you call that a problem? One day, they sent for me. Come to the dean's office, come and sign a paper. I look at it. They gave me a grant. You know what a grant is? It's not a loan. A grant that was equivalent to the salary of a professor monthly. Back then, 26,000 zloty. Monthly. I went out to rent a flat. You know how much a flat was per month? 20 zloty. Now I have 26,000. I lived like a king. I didn't have enough sense as I have now. Squandered much of it. Finished my course, came back. Life is a product of personal adventure. I saw the tomorrow and I pursued it. Until 1994, God told me, he said, you want to be a professor of chemistry, you will be a professor, but not of chemistry, but of Jesus. Go into full-time ministry. Join the church where you are. That's how I came into full-time ministry. That is, by the way. Next year is your tomorrow. Are you ready for it? Can I tell you something? Where you are now is only good for the now. It's not good enough for tomorrow. So what are you doing about it? All of a sudden we woke up and we saw forex, everything went haywire, and some people are dying. So what were your plans? What were your plans? Did you expect things will always remain like that? Praise the Lord. The second definition is God. Who is this God we are talking about? In Matthew chapter 16 verse 13 to 15, if you read it, Jesus turned to his disciple. He said, who do men say I, the Son of Man, I am? Oh, they said, don't mind them, they don't even know you. Some say you are John the Baptist, some say you are Elijah, some say you are one of the prophets. Then he turned and said, you, who am I? There was pin drop silence. All of a sudden they look at each other. We have been following this man for 3 years now. We know he turned water to wine. He multiplied bread. Who really is he? Then the Spirit took over Peter. Thou art Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus said, flesh and body did not say that to you, but the Spirit of my Father.